Are you looking for an excuse to justify getting some really yummy baked goods? We have the perfect place for you. Find out more next on Connecting Our Community. Hi, I'm Pat Shoemaker. Welcome to Connecting Our Community. Tonight we have Sarah Portman Milner, co-founder and co-director of program and training for the Sunflower Bakery. Sarah is responsible for development and implementation of the training program and outreach to employers. Welcome, Sarah. I'm really excited. You have a bakery. And it's not just any old bakery. It's a bakery that does good things. Can you tell us about it?
Yes, we're actually a nonprofit bakery that trains young adults with cognitive and other developmental disabilities for skilled work in the bakery profession.
And how did you get started with this?
A group of us were sitting around a table, professionals in the field and community members, and we were talking about what happens to kids after they graduate from high school. They have so few choices if they have developmental or other cognitive disabilities. And we loved to bake, thought it was a great idea, decided to do a pilot program. Now we're a bakery.
So the cognitive disabilities, do you have certain parameters? Do you have just anyone can come and apply for employment with you, or do you have certain particular disabilities that you look for in order to help and hire?
Most of our students have had learning disabilities, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. They may be on the high functioning end of the autism spectrum, have Asperger's syndrome. They may have mild intellectual disabilities. They need to be able to keep up with the rigor of the knowing how to read recipes and do basic math. But pretty much we can teach anybody. The key is whether they will be then able to go on and get a job. That's more. We don't just randomly guess who can do it. We actually do a 5-day assessment. We have people come in the kitchen and try different activities and kind of come to a mutual conclusion of whether it's the right kind of program for them.
And so these are people at right after high school age, or younger, or older, or all?
We target 18 to 27 because it should be as they're finishing high school and then they're moving into transitioning to work. And so some people come straight in their last year of high school. The school systems work with us to have kids come. Otherwise, if they've been out or they tried Montgomery College and they just failed, or other colleges, and they realize they don't belong there. And, you know, they might think, I'll try baking, and they find the success that they've missed for so many years.
So how do you recruit? I don't know if that's the right term, but how do you find these people, or how do they find you?
We have a network. We do relate to a lot of the agencies in the community that work with people with disabilities, in addition to the school systems, the private schools, a lot of word of mouth. That's not at all unusual when you are a parent of a child with a disability to find a program that might work. And it's not for everybody. The person has to want to bake. That's really important.
Yeah. And just to take a step backward to the beginning, okay, you were sitting around, a group of people said, hey, let's put on a bakery. And how do you do that? I mean, there are so many businesses that start with non-developmentally disabled or whatever specialized group and don't succeed. So how did you start, and how have you been a success?
It's really interesting because there's never been a time, no matter how hard we have worked, that we've lost our passion. We continually are rewarded by what we see that the students accomplish, and they're rewarded by what they accomplish because they bake beautiful baked goods. How we started was literally with 2 boxes that we went to the store and bought. 4 people wrote checks for $500. We went out and bought flour, baking sheets. We got loan space in a synagogue for 2 afternoons a week. From that point, we moved out to where we are in Gaithersburg, and we've just continued to grow and go on from there.
And how long have you been in business?
We started a pilot in June of 2009, started the first class in September, and we've graduated 24 students as of this past March, and we have 13 more who graduate in spring.
So how many people would you have as employees at one time?
Well, they're actually students. We only have 2 full-time employees, and they're both professional chefs.
Wow.
The rest of us are part-time here and there, and we take approximately 4 students In each class, we do 4 classes a year.
So if you have a bakery, but you call the people students, so are you considered a school? Are you considered a business?
We consider ourselves a pastry arts training program. But we go very far past the pastry arts. If we're taking somebody from high school and trying to put them in a job in baking, we also have to teach them employee development skills. They have to learn how to communicate, how to be able to write a resume, how to even know what a resume is, to be able to advocate for themselves, to explain to an employer about their disability and what accommodations they need. They need to be able to learn to ask questions when they need help. They've gotten so beaten down, you know, don't ask questions, they'll call me stupid, I'm not going to do that. And so we build them back up again and help them be ready to move on. And some of the students not only get jobs, but they go just back to school and take some more classes because some of them want to own their own bakeries.
Yeah, that's just amazing. What a great thing to do. So you take the students out of high school, let's say, and they come to you, they're on a 5-day trial period, and then do you put them into classes? In other words, do you, like, 5 days, okay, you want to stay, you're cooking, you're baking, you're
It's a lot
whatever,
more sophisticated than that.
Yeah.
The 5-day is a very specific assessment. We have a checklist of everything that we're looking for, so that if we find that the person is a fit, we have great information for setting up their learning program and knowing how to teach them. Everybody learns differently, and we go to their strengths. So if someone can't read that well, we know to make sure that they're seeing our hands or what we're doing or the chef's hands when they're teaching. If they learn better by hearing, we make sure that they're paying attention and listening. And the other thing is they might also learn by just doing it over and over again. The motor memory just takes over and they can do what they need to do even if they can't remember to read every step of the recipe. So
do you consider yourself a teacher?
Nope. I'm a social worker by training.
Yeah.
The teachers are the chefs. They are lead instructors for the students. And they are teaching them professional baking skills. Nobody wants to hire somebody trained in my kitchen, even though I love to bake. They want somebody trained in a professional kitchen because they're going to work in a professional kitchen, and they need to know that we consider them mini professionals from the first second they walk in the door as a student in training.
Yeah, it's just amazing that you see so much potential in people who, as you say, have been downtrodden and told no, and you're stupid, and you just can't do this. How long are they with the program? I would imagine being around you, they're pretty much boosted all the time just from your personality. But how long does it generally take for somebody to get to the point where, okay, I can do this, I have the confidence now to do it?
The program itself is 10 weeks, approximately 10 weeks of classes. They start in the morning at 8. They work through until 12:30. At 12:30, they have a break for lunch. At 12:30, they may meet with our employment specialists and go over the specific kinds of things that I mentioned to you, and starting to think in terms of job searching and all those things. 2 days a week, they meet with someone who trains them in ServSafe certification. And that's so that they will be competitive.
In what kind?
ServSafe certification.
ServSafe certification?
Yep. In order to have a food establishment open in the state of Maryland, if you're serving the public, you have to have a ServSafe manager on duty. So if in addition to the baking skills, we give them ServSafe certification, their application is going to be pulled out of the pile. So for someone who was the last person in line always, to be pulled out of the pile is really very special. Yeah. So how long does it take? 10 weeks of classes that I'm describing, then another 10 weeks where they're on-the-job training in-house, part of the production team. In the morning when they're doing classes, it's just them working on practicing and learning a recipe. In the afternoon, they are producing for sale. They have to have it by 2 o'clock, they have to have this packages done by 4 o'clock, whatever it is, so they start to feel the pressure of a work environment, and the quality is being monitored, and the pace is being monitored. So they get to practice that to be ready then to go to an internship. We supervise the internship. We monitor it with the supervisor on site, who's a professional in the field, for 3 to 6 months. Wow. They pay a tuition to come the first 10 weeks, first 20 weeks. We pay them to do the internship. We want them to practice handling money, using a time clock or timesheet.
Right. So where does the money come from to pay them for that?
Good question. Remember I said we were a nonprofit?
Yes.
We have wonderful donors. Sometimes a foundation will underwrite. the cost for the internship. But we think it's just really important for them to know what it's like to earn the money. So when you ask how long does it take for the self-esteem, it's not that long. The self-esteem probably comes about the 4th week maybe the 3rd week, when they weren't just doing one step and then learning something else, when they do a product from start to finish and they go, wow, this is really good.
Right.
This looks like she did. This looks like I saw, you know, when I first came.
Yeah. This looks like what I've seen at a bakery. I'm sure that they probably have that sense of pride that I did this and it looks like what I saw at a bakery.
And then they taste it.
Ah.
And then the family tastes it. So they get lots of really wonderful feedback.
That is great. It's just, you know, so to be so positive about something that is so impactful on not just their lives, but their families, I'm sure, have been told your child, your, you know, whatever relationship you have is never going to amount to anything, is going to be, you know, not self-sufficient, and that kind of thing must just impact the families as well.
God bless the parents, because they brought them up to where they got to us, and they found us, and that's really, really important.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, I'm going to have to stop you right there, although I want to keep going on. But we will go on. As soon as we come back from the break, we will continue with this discussion. Please come back and find out more about the Sunflower Bakery.
When you donate goods in response to an international disaster, it's expensive.
They have to cross the sea, pass through customs, be inspected, sorted, then finally delivered.
And often they arrive too late to help, making your good intentions feel a little empty.
There is a better way.
Cash donations are fast, simple, and allow professional relief workers to purchase supplies close at hand.
Cash is best. Learn more at CIDI.org.
It's our duty to serve veterans and military families who serve their country in the most difficult ways imaginable. Together, we can say thank you in so many ways. Small acts of kindness mean more than anything. With our support, veterans and military families can face even the most difficult challenges. Let's honor their service with ours.
Hi, welcome back. And we're discussing the Sunflower Bakery with Sarah Portman Milner. It's a phenomenal business, and we're going to learn more about it right now. We were talking just before the break about the parents, the families, and other people who contribute to the lives of the people who go on to be successes. Do you have any specific success stories that you want to share? That
I'll tell you one in particular. We had a fellow whose mom brought him in. He was a little bit older, and he had worked as a janitor. He'd only ever had janitorial jobs. He could not read. And he really wanted to bake. And so we talked about it. He came in for the interview, and we thought, gee, how are we going to do this? Recipes. I mean, one of the reasons why this works for people with disabilities, it has recipes, it's structured. But gee, without a recipe, then what do you do for that? So we took him in for the 5-day assessment. And we said, you know, if he just had a little longer where he could see what we do, we offer another alternative called a stage program. That is a program where someone comes in to learn a narrowly defined set of skills, not the full curriculum to go on to a job as a baking assistant, but to learn more about basic baking and see how they do. He did that program, and the chef started to see how he would learn without reading. He would catch some keywords. He had about a first grade level of reading. And he would catch keywords, and then he would watch, and then he would do it, and he would watch, and he would do it. So what he did was memorize the recipes that other people were reading each time.
Wow. And
memorizing the steps. And there's certain processes in baking, the creaming method, the reverse creaming method, they're repeated for many, many products. So if she would just say to him, these are the recipes, use the reverse creaming method, he would know what to do. So from that point, he came into the regular program, did the full curriculum, did an internship locally, and now is working in a restaurant baking.
Wow. And how old a person is he?
He is 37.
Wow.
And he was so grateful. He drove from Mount Airy every day through the snow last year. It was really quite difficult. And he'd always had intellectual disabilities and always been made to feel janitor's about the best you're going to do. and we're also very proud.
Ah, that is great. And I'm sure that's just one of the many things that keeps you going week after week when things get possibly difficult.
Like when the freezer broke just before the holidays, things like that you don't mean to have happen.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh my gosh. And how do you decide what you're going to bake, what you're going to sell, what your products will be?
We do change seasonally and for the holidays. It's a discussion, a heated discussion sometimes, but everybody has an opinion. The students are involved in tasting. We do taste tests. Our chefs are great at recommending recipes. Volunteers recommend. We recommend recipes, but they all have to be vetted for, we're a kosher bakery. We're under the supervision of the Rabbinical Council of Greater Washington, but we want to be an inclusive bakery, so we have some products that are gluten-free, products that don't have nuts. We have no peanut products in the facility. We have some vegan products. We want everybody to be able to buy from us, so sometimes we say, hey, it's time for a change. Let's try this. And we taste, it needs more sugar, not chewy enough, needs to be crisper. And then we want to make sure that they're great products. We've always known that people will come because of the cause. They'll hear about it and say, we'll come for the cause. We want them to come back regularly for the quality of the product.
And I'm sure that they do. I've heard just from coming into the studio this evening, just some of the people who have tried your products in the past, tried the samples that you brought tonight. I'm sorry the viewers at home don't get to try any, but everyone has said, oh my gosh, this is fantastic. And then to know that it goes for a good cause, it's like, all right, I'll put on the calories. I went to your website, which is fantastic. All of the pictures of your products, and you say it changes seasonally with all the different things. So if somebody wants to purchase, can you mail order? Do you have to go to the bakery? What are the methods to?
Online, through the website, people order. They can either pick up at the bakery, they can go to our pickup sites that are advertised in certain locations on certain days and times, or they can get delivery. We just include the cost of the delivery with the product. They don't have to leave the comfort of their own home.
Ah, that's great. And so what's your most popular product to make or sell? Or
probably a couple. There are few. And maybe it's so hard to say. They're all so good. Chocolate chip cookies, lemon bars, combo mandel bread with cranberries, almonds, and chocolate chips.
Wow.
Those are just the beginning. It just goes on and on from there. But we have cakes, we do wedding cakes, we do special event cakes, and I think it's really important for people to know that the students are making everything. I want to make sure that people understand that they learn to bake all the products.
Right. And that's such a fantastic thing as well, that you don't just have someone who might be considered, you know, not bright enough to get a job, and that person isn't just scooping cookies onto a cookie sheet all day, but that person is really starting at the beginning and preparing everything. Do they package and
everything?
all
They
of
learn
that?
to platter, they learn to package, they learn to store properly, they learn to put boxes together because they all come in flat, and somebody has to do it. We literally teach them every job in the bakery, from washing the floor to cleaning and taking appliances apart and cleaning them properly, using all the appliances, all the different ingredients. It's just very important for them to learn every task because we don't know where they're going to go to work. We don't know what the next boss is going to want. And we don't know when the next boss is going to have a job where they lose the other person and they need to backfill for another person. The more they can do, the better prepared they are to get the job and keep the job.
Right. And do you have certain employers that you work with on a regular basis?
We have wonderful employers in the community. Some of them are eligible for sainthood as far as we're concerned. We want to clone them, and it's very important. We'd love to have access to more businesses to hear them talk to some of the other employers to hear what great assets our students are. They come in so well prepared. Some places we called and we said, we're interested in knowing if you take an intern or if you could have an options. Oh, we hire high school students. Well, you know what? They aren't trained. Our students are very well trained, and they will be huge assets to their businesses.
Right. And so do most of your students go on to restaurants, or do they go to things like supermarket bakeries, or is it a mixture of everything?
It's just like the two of us. We probably have different opinions of what we want to do, and we have different skills. So people go to small bakeries, they go to supermarket bakeries, they go to restaurants with upscale bakery products, they go to caterers. Some of them not only get to produce baked goods with caterers, then they do the fancy plating with the caterers. So there are many opportunities out there, and we try to help everybody find their niche. There are some people who, guess what, after baking decide, I don't really want to handle it. Maybe I want to sell it. So they might want to be the people who sell or who wait on the customers to help them make a choice. So, you know, we try to find something for everybody. We say we train them for skilled work in baking or related industries.
And you said at the beginning that some people started their own bakeries. Have your students gone on to start
They're
their
aspiring.
own?
They're
aspiring.
young. So
Okay.
we're only 5 years old.
Yeah.
So they haven't had that long, you know, to get that far. But they are learning. They're having varied experiences. One fellow worked in a restaurant that does have baking, but he was also allowed to go in the kitchen and help out with the general. His buddy, who they want to go in business together, is focusing more on the restaurant side, and he's focusing more on the bakery side. And they're learning it. They would have never had this opportunity before.
Exactly. And that the reason for that question was that I was going to say, have the people who started their own business then come back to you and said, we need workers, we want to hire students because we know that they're qualified?
Not yet, but they've already expressed that. In fact, what's so cute is, you know, one said, I'm going to be the baker. The other one says, I'm going to do the cooking for the restaurant, but we're hiring a business manager. That's when you know they're on the right track.
Right.
And they always said, and then we're going to come back and hire. Yeah. We've had volunteers who work with us who are looking to own baking establishments, and they've committed themselves to hiring.
Yeah.
You know, I had to do internships and have paid employees.
That's great. So if somebody wanted to donate to help you to pay for these students to continue to do the internships or whatever, how would somebody donate?
On our website, order now, donate now. Click on donate. You can do it online. Again, we make it as easy as possible. Yeah. If somebody wants to come visit to see what we're talking about in person, please, they should just give us a buzz, send us an email, and come on out and visit and stop by.
And do you want private people to donate? Do you want corporations to donate? Is there a point that you're looking for? Oh my gosh, we need $10,000 to stay in business, or is it
our community bakery? We really feel we're part of the community. We welcome anybody who wants to donate. Yes, we would love larger corporate gifts. That would be wonderful. Private foundations are wonderful. The county's been supportive of us. We like everybody to pitch in, everybody to feel a part of it. We're happy to, you know, for everybody to participate from $10 to $10,000.
Yeah, so for the people out there with $10,000, please contact the Sunflower Bakery. They'll be more than happy to take that off your hands.
I will tell you about an exciting thing that we're looking forward to, sort of a natural progression. We've been very careful to go baby steps. We're going to have Cafe Sunflower. It is going to be located in the new Jewish Federation building on Executive Boulevard, and we'll be on the first floor. As people come in, when they're looking for the elevator, we're right there. Come stop by, have a cup of coffee. You can choose from a showcase, and you can order products to be delivered there in Rockville.
Wow.
And whenever you want to do it.
That is fantastic. Well, I have to say, as I said, I went to your website, and I think I gained 5 pounds just looking. All the pictures are there, the little cupcakes, and they're so beautifully decorated. And it just really, you know, again, knowing that it's for such a good cause. And have you thought of franchising this or sending it to other places? Have you had interest from other?
We've had interest from all over the world. Literally, people have come to visit or contacted us. I'm going to be in Australia in a couple of weeks, and I just checked my phone before I came in, and the person said, please, can we meet? Because what we're doing is something that gives people an opportunity they never had before.
Exactly.
To be just like most people, to finish school and go get a job and not be dependent on, you know, the public, to be able to participate in life, talk about their job, have their buddies at work, and then talk about what great stuff they make.
Well, this has been just wonderful. For more information, you can please go to their website, sunflowerbakery.org. You can also go to the Connecting Our Community blog on mymcmedia.org, that website. And I just want to thank Sarah again, the Sunflower Bakery, great, fantastic thing. And thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time for another Connecting Our Community.